What you achieve is near enough congruent and perfectly correlated with what you give up and what you sacrifice. The most important thing to becoming successful, I've found, is to remove things from my life that don't contribute to my goal. And in this video, I'm going to help you understand and visualize sacrifice. It's not a shiny object or one of those fancy grab my copy or steal my thing videos. This is a mental model and a way of thinking and a system for cognition that will hopefully shift your paradigm towards removing things in your life that do not help you achieve your goal or are not optimal for you to achieve the circumstances by which you wish to live your life in. My name's Charlie Morgan. I'm 25 years old and I've basically scaled 2 companies. So I grew an agency to 7 figures and I got a coaching business that does about 500k a month, blah, 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 blah. Authority statement aside, I'm gonna hop into my computer and walk you through things you can sacrifice and how to actually think about it. All right, so I'm gonna start you with a quote. Charlie Munger says, he's Warren Buffett's business partner, by the way, a bit of a badass. He says, to get what you want, you must deserve what you want. The world is not yet a crazy enough place to reward a whole bunch of undeserving people. And the easiest way to deserve something is to give up something that you want to get something. If you say to yourself, right, I want to achieve, A, I want goal A, then basically, you're in this position here, which we can call like state X, and you want to get to A. This is your goal, is to get up to here. Here's the thing, like to get to A from X, you need to deserve A. And the way you deserve A is basically by sort of bridging the gap between these 2 states, right? Like this. The thing is to bridge this gap, you need to remove things from your life. Because along this sort of upwards journey, if there's shit that's weighing you down, you're not going to get there. So in this video, we're going to talk about sacrifice. The fastest way to getting what you want is to deserve it. And the fastest way to deserve something is to give up something for it. All right. So pretty uncomfortable video for a lot of people, I am sure, but one that you probably need to hear. So if you know, I'm going to draw a diagram. If you're familiar with this, then hats off to you. But if you're not familiar with this, just watch. So we're going to draw 2 circles, right? Now I want you to imagine that the circle represents you. So this is you in circumstance 1 and this is you in circumstance 2. Okay, now let's say that you have, let's say, 10 units of time and energy. So you've got 10 pieces of time, 10 pieces of energy. Your time and your energy is all you have as a human being. If we first principle the human condition down to the rawest form of the law, like what the hell are we? We have time and we have energy. These are the only 2 things we have. Basically, we can have a diagram that looks like this, right? And we've got all of these arrows. So this is how most people live their lives, right? Hopefully not with a concave head, but basically where they have time and energy going in all these different directions. So this essentially is how most people live their lives, where you have too much shit going on. If you have a goal, all you should have is your goal. But most people, they have all these different things and it creates chaos. So what this means is you make progress. In circumstance 1, right, this is your time and energy. It's going in 10 different directions. So maybe you're over here like, I want to learn to play the guitar. And then you're over here saying, I want to have like 3 kids and a wife. And then you're over here saying, I want to make $1 million a month. Then you're over here saying, I also want to read Stoicism. Then you're over here saying, I need to get like a helicopter license. Then you're over here saying, I also want to build a SaaS. Then you're over here saying, I want to learn how to produce music. Then you're over here wanting to maintain a friendship group that isn't very good for you. Then you're over here wanting to also party on weekends. Then you're over here, like, you get the point. You need to pick your battles and choose them wisely. So what you basically want to do is understand. So this is 10 units of time and energy. You're going to make progress in 10 different directions. So if your goal is to make $1 million a month, but then you also want to do this and this and this and this, if you're not willing to make sacrifices for the goal is the sacrifice. So you have to understand we draw this line here. Here's your goal, right? And here's everything you currently like doing, whether it's drugs, whether it's alcohol, whether it's, partying, whether it's like playing the guitar, whether it's learning a language. Maybe there's shit you enjoy doing, right? Cooking, for example. Whatever, I don't care what you enjoy. Maybe on the weekends you like to go and play golf, or could be anything. Here's the thing, right? One's got to go. So if you're not willing to get rid of these, right? Because this is the thing about sacrifice. People don't realize this. They're like, oh, I don't have to give anything up. But if you don't get rid of these, right? So if you're not willing to get rid of these things over here, then you're getting rid of this. So you either sacrifice things in your life that you find fun, and if you don't sacrifice those, you're sacrificing the goal. So by choosing to not sacrifice things that aren't the goal, you sacrifice the goal. Does that make sense? So you can't have both. You can't have your cake and eat it too. Trust me, I've tried. Either your life looks like this, where you make all this different progress in different directions, or your life looks like this. So this is the person who tries to do 10 different things, and here's a person over here who just picks one thing. And so what this person does is their time and energy goes in 10 directions, but this person's time and energy just goes in one direction. And trust me, there's more meaning in depth, and there's more meaning in this elongated arrow here, because This person over here is average in 10 things. This person over here is an expert in 1. Now let me ask you, would you rather be okay at 5 things or the best at 1 thing? This is a pretty simple question, a pretty simple answer that most people should say, the best in 1 thing. The jack of all trades is a jackass, right? This is how this works, is you only have time and energy for so much stuff. And if you get rid of 99% of what you're doing and you're left with 1 thing, then this time and energy, it's got to go somewhere. It's got to be channeled somewhere. And if you're not drinking it away, then you might as well put it into your business. Now let's go through a quick exercise. So what I want you to do is step 1. I want you to define your goal, right? 1 clear, succinct goal. What is it you want? In fact, you can go through, let's write out your goals. Write out, 10 things you want to achieve. Pause the video now, get a pen and paper, and don't be the kind of person that, as Hamza would call you, a Jeffrey, right? Don't be the kind of person that just thinks, oh yeah, I'll do it later. Do it now. Pause the video. I'm going to stare at you until you've done it. You awkward yet? You uncomfortable yet? Good. I'm hoping the discomfort of me staring at you exceeds the discomfort of you doing some fucking work for once, right? So, write down the goals. Everything you want to achieve. Everything. Do it now. Now, step number 2, eliminate. You're not going to be able to achieve all those goals. So what I want you to do is pick the 1 or 2 or maybe 3, but ideally 1 or 2, ideally just 1. Pick the 1 or 2 or 3 things that you really want to achieve, right? So for example, I will give you mine. So my first goal is to be a billionaire, right? My second goal is towards my family and my relationship and my kids in the future. And my third goal is my health, right? Where I'm basically just an absolute fucking like Greek god, right? These are the only 3 things that really matter to me. Now there's other shit, there's other things that I might want to do. Like maybe I want to learn to play the fucking flute. I don't, by the way. But there's going to be other little side quests that I go on out of boredom. For example, like a mini side quest that I have over here is stoicism. Or maybe like a little side quest I have is like, I don't know, learning some sort of fucking second language. But I'm not going to do that for a while. But, you get the point. There's little other things you can have. Your life doesn't have to be solely focused around these 3 things. But for me, this is all I care about. So now you want to go ahead, look at the list of things and just circle the 1, 2, or 3 things that are most important, that make you feel a certain way, where you look at those goals and you think that is all that I want, that is all I care about. So for me, my biggest goal is building a company that adds so much value that my net worth is over £1 billion. Right now, that's my primary goal, but I think when I have a family, my health is probably actually above this because I realize that you can't be a billionaire if you're not healthy. You can, but you're not going to fucking enjoy it. It's no real point. Alongside the billionaire thing, my goal is to have a wife who loves me, right? I've got someone in mind, don't worry. And to have kids. To have a family, 3, 4 children in a beautiful home, and to take care of those around me who love me and my close friends and family. I include my friends in this, to basically make sure that everyone's taken care of and that I am able to take responsibility financially, emotionally, everything for the people that love me and that are around me. Most important thing. Because I'll tell you what, if you're a billionaire, but it's like, what's that J. Cole lyric where it's like, I think it's in Love Yours, that beautiful song. If you haven't listened to Love Yours by J. Cole, go and listen to it. But he's like, what's the point, something like this, what's the point in having like a big fuck off massive house if the people in there don't love you? There's no point. So behind that is my health, right? So, like you can't drink from an empty cup. So if I want to take care of my family, I can't do that if I'm dead or in a hospital bed, right? So pretty fucking important. So define exactly what you want. Now yours might look slightly different to mine. Pick and choose as you want, right? Now what I want you to do is list distractions. And this is where you're going to have to do some thinking, right? Because you should know what you want to a degree, right? And you should be able to eliminate a lot of goals. So now you should be down to 1 to 3 things, right? Now, for me, billionaire, these are big goals, right? The billionaire thing, this is like a 40-year goal. The family thing, this is something that obviously you work on for life, and the health thing is something you work on for life. So if you take these are kind of just a given because you work on these anyway. But the billionaire thing's the big one for me. So this is my number 1. But obviously my health and my family are more important than being a billionaire. But they're not something that you can work 12 hours a day on 6 days a week. They're just something that you develop a series of values and habits that enable you to function in alignment with like that set of values that ultimately makes you happy and brings meaning to your life, right? And health. Number 3, distractions. So now what you want to do is you want to list out everything that is going to distract you or hinder your ability to achieve these goals. So what I mean by this is anything that is going to take your time and energy away from your goal, right? Anything. Now, caveat, you can have hobbies, right? For example, right? I want to be a billionaire, but every now and then I enjoy dropping in with the boys on Warzone, all right? I like doing that. I love it. After a long day of work, I'll sit down, chill with my friends. That's fine. We're fucking humans. We're not robots, right? I know Sam Evans doesn't blink, but we're humans, right? We can't all be like Sam, unfortunately. So, distractions. List everything out that currently is a distraction in your life, everything that inhibits your ability to achieve your goal, or more importantly, inhibits your ability to invest time and energy into your goal. So this could be something like gaming, right? This could be something like TV. This could be something like junk food. You know what it is, man. This could be that friend that you've got that is just an asshole, but you've got a soft spot for them. That's supposed to say friend. It doesn't look like friend. It could be anything. It could be it could be anime. So make a list of things that you're doing that basically either inhibit your ability to achieve your goal or take time and energy away. Let's say that your goal right now is to build a 100k a month business. But then also you've got this other goal of doing like an Ironman, right? This is something that I want to do, right? I want to be an Ironman. But to me, I know this energy thing, because to be an Ironman, dude, like maybe I can achieve that in the future, but to do that whilst building like a really successful company is very fucking difficult. You have to pick your battles. You have to decide what you want. It'd be great to be an Ironman. It'd be really fun. Like another example is I'd love to have a vlog, right? Where I go around like Gary Vee does with a cameraman, and I go and do all these cool things. Another one that I love is travel, where I like to be in one place then, and another place, and another place, another place, and a laptop lifestyle. Do you know any fucking billionaires that live the laptop lifestyle? No. So don't do it. I'm talking to myself here. Maybe you want the laptop lifestyle, but I have to sacrifice travel. I want a vlog. I have to sacrifice the vlog. I also want to do music production, right? So I'm a massive fan of Flume, and one of my goals initially was to do music production so I can make similar sort of vapor twitch, I think it's called. I want to make music like that, but then I'm like, no, I can't do that. I thought about it. I was bored. No. I also want to learn how to speak French. Pardon, je ne parle le français. Merde. That's about as far as my French goes, right? I don't even think I said anything properly then. But like, these are things that like side quests that my brain's creating for me that I want to do, but they're not the main thing. Anyone who's achieved any level of success, like, will tell you, I can learn French when I've fucking sold my company. You know? I can learn music production when I've sold my company. I can travel the world, you know, when it makes sense to. It's just right now, none of that makes sense. And you have to be so obsessed and so committed and so married to your goal that nothing gets in the way. Speaking to the choir here, because right now I've got a lot of distractions and shit. Like the only thing, that there's a couple of things that distract me that aren't the thing, but kind of they help. So for example, like the Stoicism thing, right? I read lots of Stoicism. I don't really read many books on other topics anymore, but I read Stoicism and I also read stuff on mental models, right? Which is basically everything now that I think about it. So reading's fine, because reading contributes to the goal. And the same thing, this is going to sound strange, but gaming. So gaming for me used to be a massive vice, but now I use gaming as a way to relax my brain and sort of just chill out so that I can disconnect and stop trying to constantly solve problems so my mind actually has time off, right? That might sound like an awful justification. Maybe it is, maybe I'm just being an idiot, but it doesn't interfere with my ability to achieve my goal. It used to. I used to be completely obsessed with it, and like on Sundays I'd just sit in front of my Xbox and like just vegetate away in front of pixels for like 7 hours, 8 hours. But now I don't have to do that, right? So just make a list of everything that's distracting. Make a list of everything that you do right now that you know you shouldn't do. Another example, right? Instagram. Another example, TikTok, right? Another example, and that does not look like TikTok, but YouTube. Unsubscribe from people that don't add value. If people don't add like value and help you achieve your goal, just get rid of them. It doesn't make sense. So make a list of all the distractions, right? So I want you to throw everything on the fire, because like right now, let's say you're putting an hour of your time a day into Instagram. Not only are you putting your hour of your time, but you're also putting a certain amount of energy into Instagram, and then you're also using a certain amount of cognition. So we've got this time thing, we've also got the energy thing, but we also have the cognition. So if you're on Instagram looking at stupid political posts and stupid videos of people doing stupid things, your brain is processing this and having to deal with this stimuli. And your brain has a finite amount of points that it can use to invest into specific things. So if you're spending all this time on Instagram and all this time on Twitter, another example is TV. If you're obsessed with TV series and you're watching like complicated TV series, your brain's going to dedicate cognitive calorific potential to those things, because your brain can't differentiate between a business problem and the problem that Tyrion Lannister faces in fucking Game of Thrones, or whatever the protagonist is dealing with. Like, your brain's very simple. It's very black and white. It's very binary. Okay, so you need to learn to sacrifice things especially things that are cognitively demanding. And if you're not willing to do that, then you're going to pay the price. So obsession is the secret. Like I said, to get what you want, you must deserve what you want. The world is not yet a crazy enough place to reward a whole bunch of undeserving people. Charlie Munger said it best. I'm hoping you're starting to gauge and understand this now, that it's very serious. You might think, oh, just like a half an hour scroll on TikTok at the end of the day, that's fine. No, my friend. Because half an hour a day, let's say you spend an hour a day on social media. Let's do the math here. So let's say you spend an hour a day on social media. You think it's harmless, right? So let's say 7 days a week for argument. So that's 7 hours every single week, 28 hours every month. We'll round up to 30 for argument's sake. So let's just say you're doing 30 hours a month on social media, 360 hours a year. And let's say you're addicted to that for 10 years. That's 3,600 hours. Let's say you're addicted to it for the rest of your life, for the next, I don't know how long you've got here, hopefully a long time. But let's say you're addicted to social media for the next 50 years. It's a lot of fucking hours to spend vegetating over a screen. All that time, all that energy, all that cognitive potential that could have been going into something that actually is meaningful, helping you achieve a goal, has gone elsewhere. And so it's very simple, right? Another example of this for me at the moment is my car, right? So I've got my dream car, it's a C63 AMG. I fucking love it to bits and pieces. The problem with having a nice car is you want to drive it all the time. So you constantly look for reasons to drive. And that's something I need to sacrifice. I'm not going to sacrifice the car because I earned it and I love it, and maybe I should sacrifice it. Maybe it does hold me back. I'm very cognizant of the fact that I'm way more biased towards driving to places I didn't need to drive to. Oh, maybe I should go to that gym. It's a little bit further away, but it means I get to drive. It's stupid shit like that you need to sacrifice and get rid of, because if you don't, 5 minutes becomes 1,000 hours over a long enough period of time. And that's 1,000 hours that you could have put into your business, your mind, your health, your family. All right. I hope this video was useful. Knowing this made me a lot of money. Sam Ovens taught me the majority of this. But truly, if you want to achieve success, you have to be focused. If you want to be focused, you just have to not be distracted. It really is that simple. Focus is the absence of distraction. So if you want to be focused, don't try to focus, just try to not be distracted. It's a much easier way to achieve it. Reverse engineering is a pretty good tool. If you're watching this and you have an agency or a consulting company or a coaching business or a course business and you can't get clients, I want you to click the first link in the description, because we can help you solve that problem and we can give you information that you can implement to build systems to get more appointments. If you don't want to click it, I don't care. It's a sales video. You can watch it if you want. It doesn't matter. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please subscribe, like, and comment, and I will see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.